what made you stick to crypto despite coming from traditional finance where you saw very little price volatility and then you went to crypto and saw like 50% drops in your investment overnight? Like what made you stick to it was the question.
It was mostly based off of like I'd already spent a lot of time on YouTube in terms of like I've always said like I've had a PhD in YouTube research, so I've always been able to find new and upcoming YouTubers and like trends and stuff that's going to like pop off. So I basically saw that a lot of I don't know, something in my stomach was telling me, because like I came from a very like traditional like stock portfolio sort of world. You know, you're just like in ETFs only. You know, you're kind of DIY your own retirement fund versus like actively trading or actively stock picking. And it basically once I was in doing that for a long time, it allowed me to save up a lot of money. It allowed me to save enough money in those ETFs where like I was able to then actually make single investments into one particular stock. And then eventually I went from an ETF investor to straight on. I was just a stock picker. Basically, I was in like on maximum 8 stocks to 5 stocks at all times. And I basically saw that like, because basically I saw like, okay, risk reward ratio, what I'm risking here is time, and I'm in these things and I'm like, I'm really not making that much returns. Like, sure, I'm making like 7 to 12%. Sure, that's okay. But like for how much money, and like, because that money could be serving me in my life, or I could be upgrading my business, and it's not doing much. So then I go from stocks, and then in stocks, I'm like, okay, cool. I'm making like 25% to like 40% a year. Pretty good. But the thing is what I was noticing is that even all the YouTube channels that I was watching and all the things I was seeing is that they were getting more and more degenerate, where like they weren't even sticking to their own rules really. So, which is fine. I mean, hey, you have to go on the risk curve to get, to make money, right? All in the video, right? But it had gotten to a point where like they were just, it was getting so degenerate. And then on top of that, I started noticing that they were constantly bashing crypto. So I was like, okay, so something's obviously happening over here. I kind of understood it already. And I saw the kind of gains it made, because I was like, wow, I'm worth risking some. So what I did is, okay, I'll leave the bulk of my investments there. I'll leave stock picks there. I won't put any more money. I'll put active money into crypto. And then slowly over time, as I get comfortable, I'll start DCAing my stock portfolio into crypto once I really understand it. So I was like, I'm willing to risk whatever, $1,000, $2,000 a month that I'm DCAing into crypto versus like, I'm not going to risk the whole like stock portfolio. Let me just figure it out. And I started making a ton of money on it, like to the point where I was like, oh my God. And then I just started like withdrawing over time. Like I basically every month I was withdrawing like 10 or 15% of my stock portfolio until I emptied it out, basically. And primarily what I did is like I used that as especially near like the late 2018 to like mid 2019. By like middle of 2019, I was completely out of equities completely. I think I just, my last stock was like Disney or something, I think, and sold it out and went from there basically. But it was sort of like what I did is it's because I learned all these really good lessons on like risk and stuff from traditional space. And what I started noticing was all the millennial guys and all the stuff where you're making a lot of money, they're completely abandoned all that stuff. So what I did is I kind of melded all the styles together and kind of did my own custom style, but basically put myself a backstop just so I wouldn't get wrecked, and which saved my ass too, because basically like if I had all in my stock portfolio into crypto, I could have been in more heavier losses, and it would have took me a little bit longer. It probably would have took me into like middle of like probably late 2019, early 2020 to have been in profit, but still would have made it out. But it was that sort of thing where it gave me the dry powder to actually be able to like invest and stuff, because I was able to drain this account of like hard work that I'd saved up, which helped me out. And on top of that, man, like 20% on nothing is still nothing. Let's just be for real. You need to make multiples. I mean, it's like this. The reason they say like the best thing you could ever do is invest in yourself. Well, it's what they mean by that, right? Is besides like invest in your education, right? Because they can't take that shit away from you, except for a lobotomy. But like, but besides that, you're in the you invest into a business. The amount of multiples you can do, like $2,000 of equipment plus your hard work and sweat equity, you can make $100,000 business. I mean, that's a fucking huge ROI, right? But so with some of these investments, it's got to be like real passive money, and if you're going to risk more, it's got to be, the upside's got to be big, and crypto is the only thing that can give you that kind of upside besides business. So this is why I'm always about like starting your own business and investing in crypto, because these are the only industries where you can actually get crazy multiples on capital.